Good evening, companions. It is Michael D. Nato again, and I am coming to you with a reading from my brand new novel coming out July 7th. It's called Angels Among Us. It's like an anthology of short stories that are obviously all connected because this guy. And it's about a world that we have broken with some calamity, and now archangels and angels alike walk among us, hiding in plain sight. The reading I'm going to give for you today is a little excerpt from one of the stories called Threads of Fate. Um, this one is kind of fun. All of them were really fun. Only a couple of them are a little dark in the beginning, just to show you what kind of they could be up against. But the rest of them, I enjoyed writing and giving a little bit of hope to a broken world. So without further ado, a reading from Threads of Fate. Timing. The man walked into the bar, greeted by a sudden, uneasy silence. He looked around the local dive and grinned, brushing his slick blonde hair back out of his brilliant hazel eyes. He was dressed in an Armani suit, complete with silver cufflinks and polished shoes. He fit in with the crowd like a construction worker at a baby shower. After a few seconds of awkward quiet, the patron started talking once more, and the man sauntered over to the bar, stepping over a body on the floor. Bourbon. Neat, the man told the bartender, leaning on the bar with an ease that spoke volumes as he watched the crowd. He wasn't afraid of anything or anyone here, and it showed clearly in his posture. I think you're in the wrong place, mister, the bartender said as he poured the man's drink. The man turned, his stare intense, and the bartender fell back a step. I'm looking for a couple of guys that work for the local art gallery, he said, his penetrating gaze holding the human before him. Not many could look him in the eye and hold that gaze. It was said that you could see your own soul in his eyes. They're over there, the man answered, backing away. Who are you? The man flipped him a coin, ignoring the question with practiced ease. Here, for your troubles. The coin landed on the bar and spun, never slowing down. The bartender grabbed it and yelled, dropping the coin. Why is it hot? The bartender asked, his voice rising in fear. The man ignored the question, knowing that in a few minutes the bartender would pick it up anyway. Greed was his favorite sin, and it was so easy to use against these people. He walked over to the table and pulled out a chair, never bothering to ask if he could sit. Good evening, gentlemen. My name is Natasha, the man lied, sitting down as they all stood up. Oh, please, he started, dropping a wad of cash onto the table as if it were a ball of lint taking up too much room in his pocket. As expected, they all sat down, staring at the money in front of him. That's better. I have a job for you, and it pays very well. The man, who was using the name Natasha for now, explained. He explained the plan in detail to them, his words making sense even though they would probably be caught. He had a way with words, after all. And if things go right, then all of my plans will start to come together. A hint here, a warning there, and the children will someday meet, he thought, as he stood and left the bar, whistling a merry tune. And when that happens, well, we will see what else can spring up. Arrival. Alexander DeVere rode his Harley down Roanoke Way as the strong gusts blew off Lake Washington. The lingering sunset lent a touch of eerie spectacle to the surrounding landscape, and the wind swept his long raven hair back like a flag in a hurricane. He wasn't in a hurry. Being immortal did have its advantages, after all. His God-given name was Azrael. He spent his time helping souls that were reluctant to go to heaven. These souls were, more often than not, in almost complete balance, neither good nor evil in life. He was often called the Angel of Death, a title that really got misconstrued through the centuries. He was one of the 7 archangels of heaven and had been here on earth for millennia, unlike some of his brothers and sisters that came down when the humans broke the world. He had come to the city of New Seattle because of a vision of this particular home here on Mercer Island Retreat. Someone was going to die and be in balance. He didn't always get these visions, but when he did, they were always important. New Seattle had been very lucky during the calamity, as most everything west of the city went under when California was lost. They had survived and built a massive seawall sheltering the city surrounding Mercer Island Retreat, which now served as the home of the wealthy and powerful. Pulling over at the house, he shut off the bike and set the kickstand. He looked around the street and let out a whistle. It was a very nice neighborhood. But then again, he had seen them all over the years. People with money have always known how to flaunt it, Alexander thought, getting off the bike. Dressed in ripped jeans, t-shirt, and a leather jacket, not unheard of in New Seattle, he was completely out of place in this neighborhood. Hi there, a small voice said from behind him. Alexander turned, his ice blue eyes searching for the origin of the voice, and settled on a small child. The boy had to be at least 7 years old, and his innocence radiated out from him like a furnace. Hello to you as well, little one. My mommy says you're not supposed to ride without a helmet, the young one admonished, fists on his hips. He had dark skin, very short hair, and eyes like pools of liquid chocolate. Well, she would be right. In fact, my father would be displeased as well, Alexander said, laughing at the little one's stance. This didn't seem like the sort of place for a person to die in balance. Maybe the vision was for someone else, Alexander asked himself. You look like you need a good meal, the boy said, walking up and grabbing the archangel's hand, leading him towards the house. My mom makes the best food. You'll love it. I'm not sure this is a good idea, little one. Simon. What now? My name is Simon. What's yours? The young boy asked. He had a complete lack of fear, and it was both unnerving and refreshing at the same time. In this world nowadays, you just didn't see it. Oh, my name is Alexander. He looked up as he was pulled along, seeing the mother standing at the open door watching them. Not that the boy could have pulled him. Hell, 5 men couldn't pull him if he didn't want them to. Now, who is this, Simon? The woman asked, not irritated nor angry in the slightest. I swear you find the strangest pets. I'm sorry, ma'am. He is a spirited little one. Alexander was in a difficult situation. He usually never made contact with the people he interacted with, often using his wings as cover. Angels could walk among the humans, but once their wings came out, it was like the angel disappeared. If they really wanted to show themselves, they had to will it. But that only happened rarely, as their father didn't approve of it. Still, Alexander had his moments when he had dialed in the affairs of mortals and he wanted to show them, but this was not that day. Oh, it's fine, the woman said, a broad smile upon her face. He does this from time to time. We're used to it. She had long black hair and dark eyes, her yellow sundress a bright contrast to her marble-smooth dark skin. Nodding, Alexander went into the house, worried about what would happen this night that would have called him here. And that is just a small excerpt from my new book. It comes out July 7th. It's available on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, all other places. If you've enjoyed that, stay tuned. I will be doing another reading soon enough. Again, thank you all for joining, and I hope you enjoyed it.